what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video we are going to be talking about my 5 best and 5 worst purchases from 2019. So if you guys are a little bit newer to my channel, in 2019 I did a low buy. Wasn't really that much of a low buy, but I restricted myself a little bit in 2019 to my buying habits. So I feel like I was a little bit more thoughtful about what I was actually bringing into my collection last year. So I thought it would be fun to reflect back now that we are like a year to 6 months. Yes, some of these months, yes, a year to 6 months into me owning these products. Now I will say there are some products that I have decluttered that I have purchased last year. I also have a couple of videos that I posted last year about like my favorite products that I had purchased from last year, as well as my least favorites or some products that I regret purchasing. So I'll leave those videos linked down below as well. But I feel like my makeup preferences, especially like within the last couple of months, really have changed. So I thought it would be fun to reflect back now that we are almost to, well, like a little bit past the midway point of 2020, and talk about truly like my 5 best products that I purchased in 2019 while I was trying to be a little bit more conscious about my spending, and then my 5 worst purchases. So if you guys are interested in seeing the products that I have to talk about, stay tuned. First, this video was inspired by Jamie Page. She does do a 5 best, 5 worst series on her channel. I love Jamie Page. I'm sure you guys have heard of her, but I will leave her channel link down below. Definitely recommend checking her out. I just feel so at ease when watching Jamie's channel. I love like her whole background setup. It's just so like zen, and Jamie just seems like literally the most down-to-earth chill person. So check out her channel if you haven't, but I definitely drew inspiration for this video from her 5 best, 5 worst series. That being said, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I hope you'll consider doing so before you leave today. I do post a minimum of 4 times a week, so if you enjoy today's content, I hope you'll consider subscribing before moving on. Other than that, let's get into some good products and some not so great products. Does anyone else want like tacos and cervezas? I do. More so the tacos than the cervezas. Maybe like a taco and like a margarita on the rocks. I could go for that right now. All right, you guys, let's start on a positive note. I want to start with my 5 favorite purchases of 2019. So let's jump into it. You guys know I have a very deep love for the First Aid Beauty primers, and this little guy came into my life last year. This is the First Aid Beauty Pores Be Gone Matte Primer, and I have fallen in love with this. Up until owning this, I had only owned the Coconut Skin Smoothing Priming Moisturizer, which I also love. If you're looking for more of a glow, I would definitely recommend that one. But if you are looking for a hydrating yet smoothing primer, I definitely recommend checking out the Pores Be Gone Primer. It is oil-free and does have fig extract. It is safe for sensitive skin. I have heard that this is not the best for very oily skin, but I think it does a really nice job of smoothing and filling, and also making my skin personally feel hydrated. I do have more normal to dry skin, so I love that it doesn't leave my skin feeling just like super matte and super dry. So I have really been enjoying this one, especially on days that I'm looking for more of a smoothing primer. You guys know I love the First Aid Beauty primers. I have no more to say about that. And then another product that I have literally droned on about forever since I've owned this, so I'll try and be brief, but it's the Smashbox Cali Contour Kit. I could not include this product in this update, or not update, but in this video. So what I love about this just is like a very fully functional face palette. Some face palettes you get like a highlighter and a blush, or like a couple highlighters and a blush, or just like all highlighters. But in this, you are getting a contour shade, you are getting a setting shade, you are getting a bronzer, a blush, and 2 highlights. All you could ever ask for. And this is just so versatile. You can use some of these as eyeshadow. I actually have come to like the highlights more than I did in the beginning. And this is just like my staple palette, especially if I'm like going to my mom's house for the weekend and need to just grab like very minimal makeup. I will just grab this, and this is like my full face right here. I'll grab this, foundation, concealer, and like a Natasha Denona mini palette, and I am good to go. So definitely recommend the Cali Contour Kit. I would love if this would come back in the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty for like 19 bucks, because like you can't beat that price. But that was a definite win of 2020, or not 2020, 2019. This next one I purchased towards the end of 2019, and when I purchased this, I told you guys I was a little bit disappointed in myself for giving into the hype of this product. So for the longest time, Hourglass would only release one 6-pan palette for the holiday, and I loved that last year they expanded and had multiple palettes that they were offering for their holiday collection. So I ended up picking up the Ghost Quad, but the reason I was disappointed in myself is because going into it, I knew that the pan sizes were really small, and this was $55, whereas a full-size blush, which you're getting more product in a full-size blush than you are getting in all 4 of these pans combined. So a full-size blush is $40, this was $55, but what I will say is I do feel like I'm getting my money's worth on this. This was going in a project pan for me earlier this year. I used the shade Brilliant Nude 50 times within that project alone, and I've used it many times since, and still we're like nowhere near pan. And I just love the fun color offerings in this palette. I am so happy to have this in my collection. I love that I have like a coral shade. I love that I have a more mauve shade and a really fun, just like bright pink, almost like baby cheeks sort of blush that I wouldn't be looking for on an everyday basis, but I love having it. So I'm actually really happy with this purchase, and I remember at the end of the year saying I was disappointed. So it's always fun to come back after you've actually gotten to really play around and really learn the product, and this has become a staple in my collection. I feel like I've talked about this one quite a bit as well. I got this right around my birthday last year, and I actually think that this was a gift from my sister, so I didn't necessarily purchase this myself. I can't remember if this was a gift or if I purchased this in Las Vegas, but this is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. And you guys, this has become an absolute staple in my collection, especially as I have come to really appreciate cream and liquid products, especially for like cream, liquid, highlight, and blush. But I absolutely love to use this all over my face with a couple of pumps of the Drunk Elephant De-Bronzy Drops. It gives the most beautiful bronzy, glowy look to the skin. Absolutely perfect for the summertime. I know I did that look for 4th of July, and I just loved the way that that came out. It gives the most sheer coverage to the skin, but it also blurs imperfections and just like evens out the skin tone. It's an incredible product. I know it's a little bit confusing because it is such a multi-purpose, multifunctional product. I feel like you really have to get to know this product before you can really appreciate it. But boy, do I love this, and this will be like an absolute staple within my collection forever. And then the 5th and final product is this one from Milk Makeup. This is their bronzing stick in the shade Baked, and I liked this last year, but I love this year. As I have really learned to love cream products, this is literally an everyday staple in my collection. I also have the Tarte Seychelles cream bronzer, which I've really been enjoying, but this one's just so easy to just swipe on. This one's easy to pack in a bag, and I have been using the heck out of this. I literally use this just about every day in my makeup routine. Sometimes I'll lay this down and do a powder bronzer over it. Sometimes I will just do this bronzer, but last year I wouldn't have said that this is an absolute staple favorite in my collection, and now I feel like I just could not be without this in my collection. So this truly is one of my absolute favorite purchases of 2019. All right, you guys, now let's get into the worst of the worst, the dumbest, stupidest purchases I made, especially considering I was on a low buy. So up first we have this guy from Kaja. This is their Dream Puff Mousse Radiant Primer. And the reason I purchased this is because I had heard Steph Nicole talk about the Origins primer that came in an aerosol can, and she loved it. So I was like, naturally the Kaja one is just a little bit cheaper, and like I'm gonna love it just as much as Steph loves that Origins one. Absolutely not. First of all, let me just show you one. Look at, like, pay attention to how teeny tiny of a push I give this. And look at how much comes out. Ridiculous. And then it's not like stickier at all. Like this can like easily fall off. So then you rub it in and it's almost just like air, but then it gives like the shimmeriest, like glitteriest finish to the skin. So I've actually been using this as like an all over body glitter to get use out of it. But on the face, this is an absolute no-go. This would have been like a great product for Coachella. I could see you like lathering your body in this and then like flicking glitter at yourself and like having it stick and just being this like plur, like glittery, like rave girl. I did used to be a rave girl, so I'm not trying to be offensive. Like literally, like plur is a term that rave people use and it's not offensive, but that's what I think of when I think of this. Not a good product. Highly regret that one. Another regret is this Nabla palette. So this is the Poison Garden palette, and I had purchased the Secret palette first, loved it, and was like, okay, I literally need every Nabla palette, which is just such a bad mindset to be in. Online, I will say the color story looked a lot more visually appealing, and then when I specifically remember opening this package, being so excited, opening the palette and looking at it and being like, did they send me the wrong palette? Is this the palette I ordered? So I went on the website and like compared the two, and I was like, okay, I guess it is. I've used this a few times. I actually have decluttered this, but I have not sold this yet on my Poshmark, so that's why it's just still sitting in my collection. But this is decluttered. The formula on this, so bad. I don't know where the discrepancy is between this one and the Secret palette, because the Secret palette works so well for me, but like the mattes are horrible. The shimmers are lackluster, and overall this was just a really bad palette. So definitely regret spending my moolah on that. Next up, I have this one from Charlotte Tilbury. I remember I purchased this in Las Vegas. We were in Las Vegas for my birthday. We were in Las Vegas for Cinco de Mayo. We were in Las Vegas for my birthday, as well as Cinco de Mayo. My birthday is the 9th and Cinco de Mayo is obviously the 5th, and we wanted to celebrate Cinco while we're in Vegas and then also celebrate my birthday. And it just so happened on my birthday I hit 5,000 subscribers on YouTube, which was like a really big moment for me. So my husband and I went to Sephora and I decided to treat myself to a Charlotte Tilbury product, and I picked up the Wonder Glow Instant Soft Focus Beauty Flash Primer. You guys, this is such a waste of $55. It's just like a gold luminous primer, and like it feels nice and it's beautiful, but like for $55, no. Like when you rub it in, it does give like a soft focus sort of like shine, but like if you go over this with even like a light tinted moisturizer, you're not even gonna see this. So this really would only be good for days that you're doing like no makeup and you're really just tossing a primer on and maybe a little bit of concealer. But for $55, I mean, come on, that was just like a waste. I could have spent my $55 on cocktails at the pool or on nachos at Carlos and Charlie's. So what a waste. And then finally, to wrap it up, I have two foundations. This should come as no surprise. You guys know I freaking hate this foundation. It's the Wander Beauty Nude Illusion Liquid Foundation. I was so excited to try this. This is horrible. It creates texture on my face. I put this on my face and it's like my tight pores all of a sudden go and like explode into these like craters on my face. It's ridiculous. It creates texture on my face that I don't even have. So this was a complete waste of $40, which is such a bummer, because I remember Samantha March and Kathleen Lights both loved this. I thought I was gonna love it. Usually I love what they love. Absolutely did not love this. Complete waste. And then the Fenty Beauty, this was such such a bummer because I thought I was gonna love this. I was waiting for her to release a hydrating foundation because I knew that the matte foundation that she originally released was just not gonna work for me and my skin type. So I was so excited for her hydrating foundation. I've actually since gone on to declutter this as well, but still haven't sold it or passed it along. This is just too hydrating. It literally, the second I put this on my forehead, it's almost like my forehead lines are like a vacuum, and it's like all of a sudden I have no foundation anywhere except for my forehead lines, and it looks so bad. It's just like a greasy mess on me. Even set with the powder, it just does not work for me. I was so bummed. I truly thought this was going to be like my new staple favorite everyday foundation, and unfortunately it just did not turn into that. So that is my fifth and final worst purchase of 2019. I would love to hear from you guys if you want to like go back and look at your 2019 purchases, or if you just remember what were some of your best and worst purchases of 2019. Anything I need to check out? Anything I need to stay far away from? Let a girl know. Thank you guys so much if you made it till the end of this video. I appreciate all of your support as always. I hope that you are having an absolutely amazing day, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.